Yay, that was a tune by Valdir Azevedo, the Brazilian musician, composer, cavaquinho player. And the tune is called Vê Se Gostas. See if you like it. My name is Richard Miller, and the first question you should be asking is why is Richard Miller playing Brazilian music? So I was born in Brazil, in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and my father is American, my mother is Brazilian, and they gave me this very American name, Richard Albert Miller. So sometimes I think by my name I should be a country singer, Albert Miller, but I'm in love for my whole life. I've been in love with Brazilian music, and in fact, I wrote my PhD dissertation on the guitar in the Brazilian choro. And so I'm starting this live here just to talk about music, to talk about learning music. And I love questions. So if anybody has any questions, um, I'll answer the questions directly. Um, and today I just have an idea of what to talk about in terms of learning music. And so I'm going to put it in practice. So, Vanessa, você vai falar para mim quando alguém fizer uma pergunta? Porque daqui eu não leio nada.
Não, já.
Tá. So, my first topic is, and we're going to do these regularly, regular live things. And hopefully people will ask me questions and it will just be about whatever content people are interested in. But today I'm going to talk about my 5-minute hack for learning guitar. And the hack is based on the ideas of the behavioral scientist B.J. Fogg, who wrote the book Tiny Habits. So a very good book to read. And I've put it into practice in several areas of my life, principally in playing guitar. And so the truth is that we're not always motivated to play the guitar. And motivation is a very fickle thing. It changes minute to minute. And so, so if we only practice when we feel like it, then we're not going to get very far. So that's where people talk about discipline, about creating habits, about, like muscling through. So, so often people don't, and the brain rebels. So if we say, I'm going to do 2 hours of guitar every day, or 4 hours, or I've even done up to 8 hours a day. And the brain is just like, no, I'm not going to do that. And so this 5-minute hack is a way around the brain's natural response to that kind of thing. It's a way to create a habit immediately without having to do 21 days of extraordinary effort, just by removing motivation as a factor. So B.J. Fogg has, he has a TED Talk. He has a 2-minute version of this. Just Google him, BJ and then Fogg, BJ Fogg. And so, the way I apply it on the guitar is I tell my brain I'm only going to do 5 minutes of practicing. Now, the moment you put something in motion, there's an inertia that sets in. So I always say emotion is a reaction to motion. So we set a motion. Often it's a thought that moves our brain stuff. And then we have a reaction in our body to that thought. It's an emotion. And so when we set up practicing for 5 minutes, that makes us want to practice more. And so what I do is I'll practice for 5 minutes. And then if I feel like doing more, and I always feel like doing more, then I do more. If I don't, then I stop and I celebrate. So there's 3 things to put in place for this habit. One is a prompt, something that's going to remind you to practice at a time when it's convenient to practice and easy. Two is to have the action be so easy that motivation doesn't play a part. And three is to celebrate at the end. So the prompt, if you put an alarm on your phone, it may ring when you're in the bathroom or some place where you can't actually practice, or you're at a meeting, whatever. So it's best to link it to a part of your day. So I just had coffee. So coffee, practice guitar. And then I tell myself, I'm just going to do 5 minutes. And 5 hours later, I realized that I overstayed. But I just say 5 minutes. And then at the end, if I want to do more, I do more. And if I don't, I celebrate. And the celebrate is just a natural gesture. That's my gesture. Yay! It's like the gesture you do when your team wins or when you score a goal or whatever. Yay! Like that. Or woo! It's just a physical gesture that triggers stuff in your brain. I forgot the technical words for it. Somebody type in the technical word, oxytocin. That's the name that popped in my head just now. And that is how we transform. Our brains transform in happiness, not in sadness. So that whole thing of, lashing yourself, self-flagellation because you didn't practice needs to go out the window. And so it just needs to be something fun that you do because you love it. And the 5 minutes is often best done, begun with something that you don't have to think about. So don't sit there for 5 minutes like, oh, what should I practice today? It's often good to start with an exercise. So that's my thought for today. Next time we're on, I'm going to talk about the 10-second hack. So that's stay tuned for the next time. I'm going to talk about 10-second hack. But right now, I'm going to play another tune just because I feel like it. And the other tune is by one of my favorite guitarists. And so, the question is, can Richard Miller be a Brazilian guitarist? Is answered with the guitarist named Baden Powell. So Baden Powell was the founder of the Boy Scouts. And this couple in Brazil really admired him. And so they named their child Baden Powell. And then he grew up to be one of Brazil's great guitarists. And so if Baden Powell can be Brazil's best Brazilian guitarist for his time, then Richard Miller can be a Brazilian guitarist too. So this is a tune by Baden Powell. It's called Deixa. Let it go. So thank you. We're going to keep it short. And next time, if anybody joins us, we're going to answer questions or anything you'd like to answer. I've been a professor of music theory and ear training, most recently at Columbia University. I teach guitar. Um, I teach a little ukulele, a little bit of mandolin, and bass, and a little bit of piano. So any questions are valid, especially the music theory questions. I have a PhD in music theory. And so the floor is open. We'll be back on Thursday.
Foi ótimo.
Ah, good.